Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping. Whoa, wait, sorry. Hello Pickaholics. I've got something different for you today. This is Freediver72 and Picksmith and I are announcing Puka, a new challenge lock. So let me get this over to Picksmith and he'll tell you a little more about it.
Thanks, Freediver, and hello Pickaholics. So this is Puka that Freediver sent me, and when I first picked it, I was just enamored with this special lock and said, you know, we need to create a challenge for the community for this. So with a little tweaks from me, a printed box from him, we have a new challenge for the community. This is called Puka, which is Hawaiian for whole. Comes with a logbook. We're going to get to that kind of stuff later. Key and a lock. So what we're first going to do is we're going to pick this and give you a little bit of an idea what's going on here. So this is in a 5-pin Seagull keyway cylinder as a knockoff generic cylinder. Okay. I think I might have overset something. There we go. There we go. What? Huh. That's a hell of a false set. That's not a false set. Some of you may have figured out what he has done here. Key goes in and turns. Comes back out. It's turn 45 and comes back out. That's right. Freediver has put 2 extra Bibles into this lock, which has made it just really, really a special lock. So the key will come out in 3 places, and there's 3 sets of top pins. So while I got this, I'm going to send you back to Freediver, have him give his thoughts on and how he made this, and we'll see you in a few. Off to you, Freediver.
Thank you, Picksmith, and welcome back to my desk, everyone. So I'm going to talk about how I came up with the idea and some of the challenges. What I was trying to come up with was a way that when you picked it and everything got picked and you were done, you had to do a little bit extra. And everything I came up with is like, well, that's just like getting out of a deep false set and just having to, you know, keep picking. So it wasn't really a big deal. So I came to the logical conclusion of just having a whole nother row. Actually, what I was going to do was only have 2 or 3, and then you would have to go through and figure out which 2 or 3 you needed to pick. As I was drilling, I was like, forget it. I'm just going to drill all 5 and make a whole nother row. If I'm going through this trouble, I might as well do all the holes. So that's how I came up with it, and I knew I had to do both sides because I'd send it to Picksmith, and he'd say, "Well, I'll just go to the left, and I don't have to worry about those other ones." So I knew I had to do both sides. So that was my thought process in it. So some of the challenges. First, when drilling, I have to make sure that I'm drilling into the middle of the core, not the middle of the lock. So I can't just lay it over on the side and drill straight in, or I'm going to go to the middle of the lock. So I had to make this jig, which allowed me to go 15 degrees of rotation and then drill straight down into the middle. And that's where the jig came in. And you can see that there's two little half or quarter moon things here where it looks like a buttocks. That allows the lock to rotate 15 degrees each way. Now, having done some machine work in the past, I'm not a machinist, but I knew everything had to be square. And I don't have a drill press. I have a Dremel press, which is very sloppy. So I had to make sure everything was as tight as I could get it and as square as I could get it. The base plate's flat, the post coming up is straight, and it's 90 degrees to the plate, and it's straight back. The Dremel comes up and over, and all that comes straight back down to the middle of the plate. And everything is square, because if the drill bit's going this way or whatever, it's going to mess up your holes. So I had to make sure it was all square. Then I had a sled that sits on top, and it has a little vise on it and dials that move. I had to make sure that was square so that when I'm going back, as I move the lock and the drill bit goes back, it's going straight back. It's not, going off to the side. It's not this way. So everything has to be square. This has to be level. Once it's in that vise, it has to be level, and that. So making sure that it's square is very important. If you want this STL so you can make your own, I'll send it to you. But it's as is sale sort of thing. It should work for most mortise cylinders. They all should have generally the same setup, just for standard's sake. So if you want to try it, be my guest. Couple of things that I didn't think about at the time. The first one I should have was deflection. Now, if I was drilling straight on this top edge, I'm probably going to have a little bit of deflection. That's why they flatten them out. Plus, it makes it easier to put that plate in, but it's easier to drill on a flat edge. If you're on that peak, it may go off to one side or the other. Well, I'm not on that peak. I'm rotated and going 15 degrees off, so I'm on the side. That increases my deflection. So I had to make sure that the bit came in nice and slow and started chewing away, and before I got into a really good foundation, before I could actually start drilling with regular pressure. So that was a time-consuming process, and that's why I've only done one of these. The next thing was, so once it's in here, the drill bit goes in the first hole, and I get everything aligned, and then I go off to the side and I drill. Well, that puts chips in here, and those chips have to be cleared out. And I didn't want to keep pulling this out and putting it back, because now I got more alignment issues. If I could just keep it as straight as possible and keep it there. So I had to brush it out, which I didn't account for, so I didn't make a hole so I could flush those chips away. Hindsight, that's what I would change about my jig. But you align the hole, drill this side, clear the chips, and go to the next side. And then you slide use the sled, pull it down, center that hole again, and just keep going. And that's it. That's how I did it. And thanks for your time. Picksmith, back to you.
Thanks, Freediver. Okay, so now we have this apart. And he has created a housing that holds the core and everything in. And you can see that we've got a lot of pins to go over. Let's take a look at the bitting. Bitting is not extreme. I changed this just to be a little bit higher so all the pins would interact a little bit better. Plug. It's just a plug. There are no mods in this at all. Let's see. Let's get some light on here. I don't like the reflection, but we're going to do it. This is where you can see the magic. 3 sets of Bibles. It's actually a 6-pin cylinder, but there's 2 5s in there. So you can see what he's done in there. Let's see if we can get, maybe the light's not going to be good enough. It's not absolutely perfect, but you know what? With the pins, it makes it work. And that's what really counts. He also created some little plugs, 3D printed plugs to plug those up as they go in. Let's take a look. So these are your bottom pins with some oversets. This is your left side top driver pins. Real beautiful little small diameter pins just to make up for everything being a little bit off. And we got a little bit of glare. How can we, maybe that'll do it. So then the regular chambers in the Bible for the standard stock one, these 2-piece drunken spools with cup driver or cup pieces, more little drivers, pins and gins, and then our right side. Once again, reduced diameters, tapers, little mini spools. They really, really jam up in there, and they're a lot of fun to pick. Okay, so now let me put this all back together again, and we will go over the lock and the rules and the challenge itself. We'll see you in a minute. Okay, back assembled. So this challenge will come to you in this beautiful box that Freediver has created. Magnetic lid. We come with the challenge book, or the log book, the key that will be in here, and the lock itself. So in the logbook, we have the rules. Do not get the lock. We're calling it the 90 to 90 quest, and that's from where we're used to picking from, 90 into the other 90. Pick the lock to 90 degrees either way, then pick it the other way to the other 90, and video the picking, and log your time and your name and location in the logbook. And so I have put roll pins in the back, so it will be very simple for you to go and hit the 90 and come back. Once you hit that, you're going to know, and you can start coming backwards. Real simple, real easy. And this is the brand new Puka challenge from Freediver and Picksmith. This is just such a cool presentation. I am going to make my video shortly showing my pick time and the 90 to 90 and log it in the book. So until then, everybody have a good evening, Pickaholics, and we'll see you on the next one.